Hello, fellow educators. This is Amanda from Munnet Inc., and I am here today to talk to you about this awesome product called An Introduction to Dystopia. This product is designed to help any teacher, grades 6 through 12, introduce the genre of dystopia, regardless of the text that you're using. I think it's really important to take time to understand genre and how it works because once you've unlocked the keys to the genre, it's really easy for kids to latch onto any text, no matter how difficult. So, this product is a series of 5 lessons that teach kids how to grapple with and understand the facets of what makes dystopia dystopia. So the first lesson included is actually one of the most hysterical lessons I ever do all year with my students. And this first lesson is a hoax letter. So essentially, I set up my classroom at the beginning of the period and tell the students that there's been some new information that came down from the administration. I then project this letter on the screen. I never actually make hard copies of it because I don't want anyone going home and telling their parents how I've lied to them. But the letter itself explains that a new bill has been signed into law called the Safe Eye Bill, and that now high schools will be able to see and hear and record everything that's happening on their cell phones. Inevitably, the students totally freak out. And this leads to a really cool discussion about surveillance and privacy and how the government should and should not operate when it comes to those things. And every single student has an opinion about their privacy, from their Instagrams to their Snapchats. You get the quietest students that seem to never perk up, arguing fervently about why the school should back off this policy and how quickly they're going to call their parents and they're going to call the principal. And it just is a great way to start kids talking about this issue that dystopias deal with all the time, and that's surveillance. The next lesson is called Utopia High School, and this lesson is about 2 days long, depending on your time frame, but the beginning half of the lesson helps students set up the perfect high school. We define utopia and design the ideal school for every student. And then the lesson at the second half breaks down utopia and how utopias can never really function because not everyone has the same idea of perfection. And so by the second half of the lesson, the students see how utopia flips on its side and turns into dystopia. So that lesson is really good about defining what those two terms are and helping students grapple with the genre. Lesson 3 is another favorite of mine, and lesson 3 is an inquiry-based lesson where I give the students, instead of a definition of dystopia, we give them a series of videos and images and tell them, these are dystopian. So what is dystopia? It gives the kids a chance to look at visual depictions of the genre and then create their own definition of the genre. Lesson number 4 is a lesson that really zeroes in on vocabulary, specifically the idea of connotation. This lesson teaches connotation in the context of dystopian characteristics. So the students are going to look at the severity of different words and how using a word like conformity is different from using a word like fit in. And so the students will scale and rank the severity and intensity of different dystopian words and have a conversation about how words are connotated and what it means when certain words are used in the dystopian text that they are studying. In lesson 5, the students are going to be creating tableaus, or in other words, living pictures. So each student will be assigned a vocabulary word from the unit and then have to, in a group, physically recreate what that word looks like. And so this is a great lesson for analysis. It's a great piggyback on the connotation lesson because it actually gets students moving and using their creative problem solving skills to create something new based off of what they have learned.